"You're late, Sarah." And everyone is starving. My mom's voice, usually a warm hug, was a frosty whip cutting through the backyard buzz. She stood there, hands on her hips, eyes narrowed at me, a freshly cracked beer still condensation cold in my hand. "Did you bring the food?" I swear, my brain just short-circuited. The food?" I stammered, looking around at the friends already hauling in the massive sound system, the grill still cold. My roommate Leo was busy wrestling with a speaker cable, clearly not about to spontaneously produce a taco truck. "Yes, the food! The taco cart!" she practically hissed, her gaze boring into me. "You were supposed to bring the taco cart. Everyone's been waiting for you." I blinked. A taco cart? Was she serious? Just an hour ago, I'd called Ken, my partner, while picking up a bottle of decent Sauvignon Blanc. "Hey, need anything from the store for Moms?" I'd asked. His response clear as a bell: "Nah, we're all good. Just bring yourself." That's why I was sauntering in with a speaker, because, hey, free labor, right? And my wine, not, a whole catering operation. "Mom, I called Ken. He said you guys didn't need anything." I tried to explain, a nervous laugh bubbling up. This whole scene was ridiculous. But she wasn't laughing. Not even a little. "Unprofessional, Sarah. Absolutely unprofessional. This is my party, and you're showing up empty-handed after I specifically tasked you. I'm not going to pay you for this." "Pay me?" My beer hand actually twitched. "Pay me for what?" The internal monologue screamed, "I don't work here, lady," except it was my mom, and I definitely wasn't on the payroll. This wasn't a job, it was family fiesta. She was treating me like I was a caterer who'd flaked, not her daughter showing up with a bottle of wine. "You should have had a backup taco cart, at least, just in case," she continued, completely unburdened by the absurdity of the suggestion. My jaw almost hit the deck. "Mom, a backup taco cart! What are you even talking about?" "I thought Leo was handling the food," I finally blurted out, pointing a finger at my roommate, who now looked up, mid-cable untangling, a deer-in-headlights expression on his face. Leo, God bless his chaotic soul, just shrugged. "Nah, I was kidding when I said that. I don't actually have a taco cart. You know me, I brought chips." And my winning personality, he held up a bag of Doritos like it was a peace offering. That's when it clicked. The pieces of the colossal miscommunication crashed together. Earlier in the week, during a frantic group chat about party logistics, Mom had asked, "Who's bringing the food?" Leo, being Leo, had jokingly replied, "I'll roll up with a taco cart, don't even worry about it," and I, distracted by work, must have just skimmed the chat, mentally filing away Leo equals food. Mom, meanwhile, must have actually assigned the taco cart duty to me in a separate conversation or text that got buried. And then Ken, thinking about regular groceries, not catering, had confirmed all good. Oh, for crying out loud. "Mom," I said, the fight draining out of me replaced by a sinking feeling, "I am so sorry." I honestly thought Leo was joking about the taco cart, and I guess I missed where I was supposed to bring it. I ran a hand through my hair, and Ken just said, "You didn't need anything extra from the store." She sighed, the drama deflating a little as the actual misunderstanding dawned on her. "Well, what are we going to do now? Everyone's still starving." Before another accusation could fly, Leo, ever the problem solver, or at least the distraction provider, piped up, "Pizza! We'll just order like 5 giant pizzas right now. Everyone loves pizza." A collective groan turned into a hopeful murmur. Pizza, while not tacos, was a universally accepted party salvation. We quickly got an order placed, everyone chiming in their preferences. Crisis averted, or so we thought. An hour later, phones were checked. Exasperated calls were made. "Dude, the pizza vendor broke down on the side of the freeway," Leo announced, throwing his hands up in mock despair. Classic. He's always late to family fiestas. Surprisingly, Mom actually chuckled at that. A genuine stress-free laugh. "Yeah, he is, isn't he? Remember Aunt Carol's 50th? We thought we'd have to roast hot dogs over a bonfire." And just like that, the tension evaporated. We all ended up scrounging for whatever snacks were available, telling ridiculous stories, and eventually the pizzas did show up, lukewarm but glorious. The party roared on, fueled by cheap beer, good company, and a shared near-starvation experience. It just goes to show sometimes you're expected to be the caterer, even when you only brought a bottle of wine. And sometimes even your own mom can treat you like an employee who dropped the ball. What a day.
If you've made it this far, you've clearly got great taste in internet drama. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more wild stories like these. All right, on to the next one.
It's not every day you open your front door to a stranger who demands medical attention from you in your own living room. But that was exactly my Tuesday. I'm Janelle, and apparently my house doubles as a walk-in clinic sometimes. I was just chilling, mug of lukewarm coffee in hand, scrolling through Reddit, when a sharp, impatient knock rattled my front door. Not a friend's knock, not a delivery knock. My brows furrowed. I wasn't expecting anyone. Warily, I peered through the peephole. A woman, maybe late 40s, early 50s, stood there clutching a small designer handbag. Her face was set in a tight, annoyed line. I opened the door just a crack. "Can I help you?" I asked, trying to sound more confident than I felt. She didn't even look at me properly, just passed me, like I was furniture. "Yes, I have an appointment with Dr. Janelle. I'm already late." Her tone was clipped, like she was doing me a favor by being there. My jaw went a little slack. "Dr. Janelle, was this some weird prank?" "Ma'am, I think there's been a mistake," I said, pushing the door open a little wider, gesturing vaguely at my very residential living room. "This is my home. It's not a doctor's office." Her eyes, which had been darting around my hallway, snapped back to me, narrowing. "Don't be ridiculous," she scoffed, a tight, humorless laugh escaping her lips. "Of course it is. This is 123 Main Street, isn't it? My appointment confirmation clearly states Dr. Janelle's office." She even took a step forward as if to peer around me into my private space. I instinctively braced myself against the doorframe, suddenly feeling like my privacy was under siege. My politeness was rapidly eroding. "Ma'am, I am Janelle," I said, trying to keep my voice even, "but I am not a doctor. This is my house, my private residence. Not a clinic, not a surgery, not even a really fancy waiting room. You have the wrong address." I emphasized my house because this felt like a huge violation of my space. Who just barges up to someone's door and argues with them about their own address? The audacity. She scoffed again, her hand already rummaging in her bag. "Just let me check," she muttered, pulling out her phone with a flourish, as if to prove me wrong. She tapped a few times, her brow furrowed in concentration. The furious set of her jaw slowly slackened. Her eyes widened, then her face went a shade of puce. "Oh," she blurted out a little too loud. "Oh, good heavens. It's actually 123 Maple Street, not Main. Oh dear." She looked utterly mortified but still managed to sound a little put out, as if I was somehow responsible for her misreading. She mumbled a quick, almost imperceptible apologies for the confusion, barely meeting my eyes before practically jogging back down my porch steps and to her car. I watched her peel out of my driveway, probably late for her real appointment now, and slowly, carefully closed my door. The click of the lock felt unusually satisfying. I leaned against the door for a moment, letting out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. Seriously? My house? I looked around my very clearly lived-in living room, the half-knitted scarf on the sofa, the dog toys scattered on the rug, the lingering scent of my forgotten coffee. Did it scream medical professional to anyone? It was wild. I mean, I guess it's easy enough to mix up addresses, but to argue so vehemently that my home was her doctor's office? Some people really just go through life assuming everyone else is either working for them or in the wrong, huh? All I wanted was a quiet Tuesday morning. Instead, I got an unexpected patient who definitely didn't have an appointment. Anyway, thought you guys would appreciate this one. Stay safe out there and check your map apps, people. Cheers. Janelle?
Her spittle hit my face as she screamed, "Shut up, just shut up and listen to me." Her hand, smelling faintly of stale cigarettes and desperation, lunged for my mouth. I instinctively brought up my clipboard, a thin shield against the sheer, unhinged fury coming my way, deflecting her grasp. All I could think was, I don't even work here. Seriously, guys, you won't believe the day I had at Kmart. I'm Jasper, a tech guy, and I was there, like I often am, to wrestle some life back into a perpetually dying piece of equipment, specifically a self-checkout kiosk that seemed to have a personal vendetta against functioning. I was in my work uniform, mind you, a pretty standard dark blue number with a company logo on the chest that absolutely wasn't Kmart's, but I guess any uniform in a store is fair game for some people. I'd barely gotten the diagnostic tool hooked up when the first one hit. A woman, mid-40s, looking harried, materializes beside me. "Excuse me," she says without preamble, "where are the socks?" I paused, wrench in hand, and offered my usual polite but firm, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't actually work here. I'm just here to fix some equipment." She just blinked at me. Didn't even register it. "So, where are they? I'm in a hurry." I tried again, slower this time. "No, really, I'm not an employee. I can't tell you where the socks are." But she was already rattling off. "Well, what about the toilet paper? Is it still on aisle 7? And when do you guys close tonight? I need to get back for my shows." It was like I was speaking a different language. I kept trying to interject, "I'm not an employee," but the words just seemed to bounce off her like rubber balls. Then came the true test of my patience. She leaned in conspiratorially. "Do you have any cigarettes behind the counter? Just a pack of Marlboro Reds, please?" I just stared at her. "Ma'am, I don't smoke, and even if I did, I wouldn't have them on me. I really don't work here. I'm fixing this machine." I gestured wildly at the gaping maw of the self-checkout, sparking with electrical cables. She just tutted, clearly annoyed at my lack of helpfulness, and wandered off in a huff, probably to harass an actual Kmart employee. I breathed a sigh of relief, thinking the worst was over. Oh, how naive I was. Because that's when she arrived, the second woman, a whirlwind of righteous indignation, storming down the aisle like she owned the place, red-faced and radiating pure anger. She didn't even look at the self-checkout. She just fixed me, a lone guy in a blue uniform, in her sights and let loose. "This is just ridiculous," she shrieked, her voice echoing in the surprisingly quiet store. "Last week, your manager, that bald little man, told me you had the new line of candles, and do you know what? He lied. There were no candles. I drove all the way out here, and he just lied." I tried to get a word in edgewise. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but I really—" "Don't you interrupt me," she roared, jabbing a finger so close to my nose I could feel the wind from it. "I am telling you, this store is a disgrace, and then the prices. Have you seen the prices on the canned goods? It's a national scandal, I tell you." I just stood there, holding my clipboard like a flimsy shield. My attempts to explain were met with "shut up" or "listen to me." This wasn't even about finding socks anymore. This was a full-blown verbal assault on the Kmart corporate structure, and I was apparently the designated punching bag. Then she started to get physical. Her hand shot out, not to hit me, but to clamp over my mouth, an attempt to literally silence me so her glorious rant could continue unimpeded. That's when I brought up the clipboard and deflected her. "I wasn't having it. You can yell at me, sure, but you don't get to lay hands on me." She didn't miss a beat. Her hand bounced off my clipboard, but her tirade continued, fueled by some deep well of Kmart-related grievance. And as she railed, a strange calmness washed over me. I just let her go. I watched her, listened to the nonsensical torrent of complaints about candles and canned goods and bald managers, and that's when it finally clicked. She wasn't just another entitled customer who mistook me for an employee. She wasn't an employee either. She was just another customer, albeit a very, very angry one, who had also decided I, Jasper, the Kmart self-checkout whisperer, was the perfect target for her frustrations. And the best part? She was completely, utterly oblivious to the spectacle she was creating. Around us, employees had stopped restocking shelves, customers had paused their shopping, all eyes fixed on this woman, screaming at a random tech dude, who was calmly holding a clipboard. Finally, she wound down, her voice hoarse, her anger seemingly spent. There was a pause, a moment of silence where you could almost hear a pin drop. Then, Very gently, I said, "Ma'am, I really don't work here. I'm just here to fix the machines." Her eyes, still wide with leftover rage, slowly registered my words. The color drained from her face. The realization dawned on her, a horrible public dawning. She looked around, finally taking in the dozen or so eyes trained on her, and mumbled a barely audible, "Oh." Then she turned tail and practically fled the store, a trail of embarrassment in her wake. The store slowly came back to life, the whispers starting up. Honestly, it was wild. I stood there, clipboard still clutched in my hand, watching her go, and couldn't help but crack a small smile. Some days you just gotta roll with it. Never a dull moment when you're wearing a uniform that isn't theirs. Anyway, thought you guys would appreciate this one. Stay safe out there, fellow non-employees.
Click here for another great one, you won't regret it.